no pressure on yours.
Let me turn the sound off on my phone.
Yeah. Okay.
All I can do is run back. He's gonna be the one that starts the live stream. I can't do anything. All I can do is turn it back. Just for the
I also would like on vacation in December. Hold on, I gotta plug my earbuds in.
All right, mic check. Sound good? Check one.
Nope.
Check.
One more.
One more. It's a cheer for it.
Check. Check one. Check.
Yeah, Michelle, just get up and walk out if you want that.
You good?
Oh, yeah.
Check one. Yep.
Thank you. Yep.
All right.
Thank you.
It doesn't sound fuzzy, or at least too fuzzy, until somebody gets up there and yells and peeks it out.
You ready?
Are you ready?
I think so.
The station. So I would buy
I got it when they're down for I'm good. I had like one of those. I have a smaller one because it's more convenient. Not for the sake but the scratch started ripping, so that's when I got to use it this one. Also, this one's nice because like if I'm not having 10 stuff, it's on my back. I know, because I just really cool. So I love to like school and
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for being here. As the investigation into the tragic shooting of our officers continues, we want to be as transparent and expeditious as possible in releasing information to the public, while at the same time respecting the privacy of the victims involved. We must remember that the injured officers are victims and need to be treated as such. Therefore, I will not be releasing their identities at this time. Officer 1, who was shot in the upper body and in his vest, one very much like the one belonging to yours truly in front of me, continues to receive treatment outside of the hospital setting. Officer 2, who was seriously injured with at least one gunshot wound to the upper body, continues to receive treatment at Strong Hospital for his serious injuries. And again, I can't say it enough, kudos to Strong Hospital, URMC, and their amazing team. Officer 3, who was shot at least once in the upper body, was discharged from Strong Hospital on Christmas Eve and is also recovering at home. The preliminary investigation has found that Officer 1 and 2 approached the suspect on the side of the house, at which time the suspect pulled out a handgun and fired at least 6 rounds, striking both officers at that time. The suspect then appears to have fled towards the back of the house and through the yards. Ultimately, as we know, he appeared on Thurston Road several blocks to the south. During the subsequent chaos of the gunfire, the civilian pulled out his legally registered handgun and fired 6 rounds in the direction of one of the officers. Officer 1 then fired 3 rounds, and Officer 2 fired 6 rounds. The civilian was struck at least 2 times, including 1 round confirmed to have been from one officer's handgun. This victim has since been released from Strong Hospital. While rushed to the hospital in the back of a police car with severe injuries, Officer 2 was still able to relay suspect information to the other officers in the car. Those officers were able to put the suspect information out on the radio to the other officers responding. The other responding officers located the suspect, 38-year-old Eric Davis, near the intersection of Arnett Boulevard and Thurston Road. Officer 3 at this time attempted to stop Davis, who immediately fired at the officer, striking him in the upper body. The injured officer returned fire, and a 4th officer quickly arrived on scene and returned fire as well. The 4th officer returned fire from behind a tree, and that tree was struck by Davis's gunfire. So in total, Davis fired at least 8 rounds at the officers on Thurston Road near Arnett Boulevard. And again, as I said previously, he fired his gun until it was empty. Officer 3 returned fire with 7 rounds, and Officer 4 fired 4 rounds. No charges have been filed in this investigation, and the Rochester Police Department does not anticipate filing any. The incident remains under investigation by the New York State Attorney General's Office and the Rochester Police Department's Professional Standards Section. As is standard with any critical incident, the Rochester Police Department's Professional Development Section, that's our training section, is reviewing the incident in the camera footage to learn and develop additional training to keep our officers safe as can be. And over the past few years, I've stood here many times and said, even when we do a great job, we can always do better. And that is our goal here. I would like to, again, remind folks when this footage is released and you're watching this footage, if you're watching it, it is very easy for you at any given moment to click pause and say to yourself, what would I have done here? There is no pause when this is in real life. There is no opportunities for these officers to hit pause. There is no opportunity for these officers to say, I tap out, I don't want to do this anymore. Officers make decisions in milliseconds that we have hours to review on camera footage. Decisions that affect not only their lives, but the lives of others. So again, as I said, shortly after today's press conference, we will be sending a link to the body-worn camera video. What you will see is both very violent and very graphic. But what you'll also see is the heroic actions of our officers. They responded to a call for help, as they do routinely on a daily basis. And, again, I have to insert here, we, police officers, sheriff's deputies, first responders, we run toward gunfire. If right this second gunfire was to go off in the lobby behind you all, there would probably be some panic in this room, except for me and everybody else in uniform who'd be running through those doors to find out what was going on out there. What was not routine in this case is that Mr. Davis did everything he could do to kill these officers. If not for the incredible team at Strong Hospital, as I've said before, the immediate response by their fellow officers, and the effectiveness of a ballistic vest, just like that one, these 3 officers would not be here today. As you will see in the videos, despite 2 officers being shot, additional officers were able to locate the suspect. And these officers, despite being shot and shot at, were able to engage the suspect in the threat to our community. These officers, as well as all the men and women of the Rochester Police Department, literally put their lives on the line to protect the citizens of Rochester. They're doing it right now as we stand here, answering 911 calls, probably somewhere going to a call with a man with a gun. Right now. It never stops. And that is who we are, and that is what we do. And we never stopped doing it that night. We were back doing what we do within 5 hours of this incident, taking care of the city, and I think that's pretty amazing. I'm going to let Jeff Wader, president of the Rochester Police Locals Club, give a few words.
Thank you, Chief. As he said, my name is Jeff Wader. I'm the proud president of the Rochester Police Locust Club. And I just have a quick statement I'd like to give to all of you. First and foremost, on behalf of the Locust Club, I want to thank the community for the overwhelming outpouring of support and concern for the officers involved in the events of December 19th. 3 officers were hospitalized as a result of this incident. We are pleased to report that we have 2 since have been discharged and are recovering at home with their families, while 1 officer remains hospitalized under the expert care of the staff at Strong Memorial Hospital. That member continues to grow stronger every day with the support of family, friends, colleagues, and hospital staff. We would like to specifically recognize the outstanding care provided by Dr. Mark Gestring and his team in the Strong Emergency Department on the night of the incident. The immediate treatment and continued medical care our members have received has been nothing short of exceptional. We thank everyone at Strong for all they have done and continue to do for our members and for the community. Let me be clear. This attack on our members, like all acts of violence against police officers, is unacceptable and will not be tolerated. Too often, our members are asked to risk their health and safety simply to do their jobs. Enough is enough. This must stop now. On December 19th, as you will see and continue to see, our members were ambushed by a suspect at 2 separate locations near Chili Avenue in the Genesee section of the city. At both scenes, Locust Club members heroically defended their lives, the lives of their fellow officers, and the lives of the citizens involved. They acted in accordance with the highest standards of their profession and followed their training. In a situation that turned deadly in the blink of an eye, our members did not hesitate and risk their own lives to subdue an armed and dangerous suspect. The involved members, as they do every single day, answered the call for service, backed one another up, and ensured that those who were injured received immediate medical care. As president of the Locust Club, I speak on behalf of the executive officers and the entire membership when I say we are incredibly proud of every member who responded to this incident. We thank God for their bravery and for their continued recovery. To the supporters in the community we serve, we will continue to stand with you as we have for more than 200 years. To those who choose to villainize our officers and our profession, We will continue to serve you as well, professionally, fairly, and without hesitation, just as we always have. Once again, thank you to everyone for your support, prayers, and well wishes for our injured officers and for all the brave men and women in law enforcement who answer the call for our community each and every day. Thank you.
I'm going to take a few questions just to make it easier. I think I'll just start on the right and we'll just work our way left if anyone has anything. I don't have that, so I wouldn't want to answer incorrectly. And the AG's office has the investigation, so I'm actually not sure if that's something we can release at this point, but Captain Bello will follow up with you.
So the decision now to make violating charges that came after reviewing all of the footage that you're releasing now?
Yes. Again, very, very chaotic scene. If we remember that night, I think it was something like 10 degrees out with a wind chill, snow blowing sideways, very dark. Things happen very fast. Folks, the adrenaline dump gets going. And again, you're talking about a citizen who, doesn't necessarily have a lot of training. So our feeling is that it was, just a result of the circumstances.
The two scenes, were there 6 shots fired at the first and 8 at the second? Was it 8 total?
I would have to go back to, what is it? One and then the other. One and then the other.
Okay, so 14 total confirmed?
Yeah.
Okay.
Could you clarify, you said the civilian directed gunfire at the cops. Did they believe they were shooting at the suspect?
So, again, I can't speak to them. We haven't taken their statements, so I really can't speak to their frame of mind. But I can tell you that the civilian was firing in the direction of officers, and officers returned fire.
So the civilian was hit with 1 round from officers?
So the civilian was hit with at least 1 round from officers, we know from the ballistics. He did have 2 or 3, it depends on the one possibly could have gone through both.
Was he hit by Davis at all?
So, no, we don't believe so.
Chief, how does someone shoot a gun and hit police officers and not get charged?
So all of the injuries sustained by our officers were from Davis.
But even firing a gun, and I don't understand how somebody can fire a gun and not be charged.
So, well, again, with the totality of the circumstances and what we have, with the confusion, and again, ultimately the Attorney General has this case. They make the final determination, but based on what we have, we are not recommending charges.
And just based on your comments about the video, do you think that when the public sees this, they'll have a different perspective than you?
I don't know.
I'm wondering if you have connected with the female victim at the center and her family and how they're doing.
Yes. Well, again, and that's important to remember. I mean, her and the children are victims, and we're in this too. We worked very close with them that night, obviously, and our folks, as well as our partner agencies, Willow Domestic Violence, for example, continue to work with the family and make sure their needs are met.
So it was the fourth officer who ended up taking out the suspect.
So we know the 3rd and 4th officer both discharged their weapons at the suspect. We cannot definitively say if he was hit by the 3rd or the 4th officer. How many times was the suspect hit? 1 time.
You can't tell which gun it was from.
Not at this point, but we don't have ballistics on that. I have ballistics. I can definitively say, again, 1 round in our victim was from an RPD officer's firearm. As far as recovered projectiles, those are the only ballistics I have at this point. We've recovered casings, which is different from, so again, we can tell from casings how many times each gun was fired, if we have them all, plus we have the audio, which tells us how many shots were fired. But as far as recovering the actual bullets or the projectiles, we have ballistics back on one at this point. We don't necessarily recover all projectiles. Sometimes they go through and through. Sometimes doctors decide to, leave them in place, which means we don't get them. We don't get to do ballistics. Okay, thank you.
Does the fourth officer?
Last one.
Sorry, does
It's okay.
the fourth officer remain on administrative assignment?
Yes, the fourth officer remains on administrative assignment. Let's be clear too, though, the fourth officer, although not the victim of an assault, is the victim of an attempted murder, certainly reckless endangerment. This officer was shot at, and again, the round struck the tree in front of her. Were it not for the tree, she would have been the victim of an assault. Okay, thanks, everybody.
Okay, going to.